So one day, a bunch of white dudes decided, hey, I don't like Britain. Mostly because Britain was taxing the ever-living crap out of Americans. Well, okay, they weren't American yet, they were colonials or British or whatever, but that's not important right now. What is important is they were being taxed. They didn't like that. There were mobs, fires, and tea got shoved out of a boat. It was crazy. So George Washington and company decided maybe there's a better way to go about expressing their feelings towards their British counterparts. They all met up in Philly, 1774, and called it
the First Continental Congress.
Now, nothing really happened in this meeting, just the same old, we don't want getting taxed a lot, screw ye, Britain. But that's okay because for some reason they decided to give it another shot next year. Well, to nobody's surprise, war broke out before the next meeting and blood was spilled in Concord, Massachusetts, and we dubbed this event
The Shot Heard Round the World, even though nobody knows who the fuck shot first.
So they hurry up and have another meeting. When are they gonna learn this isn't working? And somehow your boy Washington ends up commander-in-chief of their quote-unquote army with the ridiculously unique name of the Continental Army. You guys seen a pattern here? Because it's named after, you know, the Congress. It's a continental... Yeah, you get it. Okay, moving on. Washington wasted literally no time going into battle with British forces and somehow actually did a decent job against the most dynamic empirical force of the late 18th century. They lost, but they did a decent job. Britain continues winning, but the colonials are just, like, taking it. Like, seriously, just... You know when a superhero gets punched really hard and they just sort of stand there like, is that it? Yeah, that was early America. So we take casualties and fight Britain more, and take some more casualties and fight Britain some more, and colonials are just really starting to hate Britain. You know, I'm starting to think Washington was just throwing fights to make Britain look even more like the bad guy. Anyway, everybody suddenly realizes it's been a whole year since a bunch of random white guys stood in a room for 12 hours before AC was invented and decide July 4th is as good a day as any to declare independence, so that's what they do. Literally, they just say it, like they held up a poorly drawn middle finger to Britain and said GTFO, we are America now. Well, Britain didn't like that, mainly because of money, minutely because of pride, but almost entirely because, I mean, that's a lot of freaking land. Like, Britain's gonna lose half its empire if America just kicks them out. I mean, this is the equivalent to you and your siblings writing a note and taping it to the fridge for your parents to see, like, we're in charge now. It's quite terrifying, honestly. Anyways, moving on to Saratoga, baby, oh yeah! Wait, seriously, you guys have never heard of Saratoga? It's like the turning point of the American Revolution. Nobody's ever told you about Saratoga? God damn it, American history teachers, what are you doing? Okay. Long story short, Britain realizes that in order to stop the revolution, they need to control where it's being vehemently praised, northern New England. The Continental Army lost twice, once in New York and the other at Fort Ticonderoga, and Washington pulled back and fled to Valley Forge, where they hid out for a while thinking about how bad they just lost. Then entered General Horatio Gates and his posse of dope-ass infantry who took advantage of the tired Brits near Saratoga and whipped some good old-fashioned redcoat butt. Then he did it again, and Britain was like, dude, stop. And then France just freaked everybody out by coming out of the shadows like,
we are France, and we think America sounds dope as fuck. So yeah, Britain, we spit in your direction now, ha.
So now we got France and baby America fighting Britain, and the British army is sweating. Washington's army is getting a nice little pep talk from Marquis de Lafayette and decide to go on the attack once again against British troops in New York. This time, America ties. Yeah, the whole battle really just goes back and forth, and there wasn't really a clear winner, so not a loss! And now, a tale of treason and treachery. Benedict Arnold said, screw you, America. This is a lost cause. Jumped ship and joined the Brits. Spoiler alert, that was a bad idea. Britain captures Georgia and parts of South Carolina, and loyalists, Americans who actually like the idea of Britain staying in control, start fighting back too. Well, they were always fighting, but now they were serious. But that didn't stop Nathaniel Greene, Jesus, that's a weird way to spell Nathaniel, Nathaniel Greene, from basically telling the commander of his troops he could do a way better job, and on top of that, also did a better job. He like totally kicked butt, like immediately, it was cool. So now we got Greene, Washington, a whole crap ton of French troops, and a French navy, and Britain was just toast. They couldn't keep fighting against the
extreme passion of freedom
America had. So Britain chills for a few more years, and that's pretty much it. A peace treaty was signed in Paris, and the United States of America was born. Hooray!